Proverbs 31 study. I did want to update. I talked to my husband last night and totally threw him for a loop when I asked him about trusting him. And it was a very short conversation, and he just looked at me and goes, I don't even think about it anymore. So praise the Lord. That is a battle that I have been able to overcome. He did jokingly tell me he worries about me throwing things away, perfectly good things away. It's an ongoing joke between us. If he can't find something, he automatically comes to me and says, did you throw it away? I kind of have a reputation. So it felt like a real victory last night to have that conversation with him. And he couldn't think of anything right off the top of his head. I'll definitely revisit that in a day or two. And because if there's anything I need to work on, I mean, God knows my heart. I want to know. Okay, so verse 12 today. It's a very short verse. And it just simply says that she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. That sounds really simple. It sounds really easy. Because I know for the most part, all of us have a desire to do good for our husbands, for our families. That just, I think it comes with being a Christian. You want to do good. You want to be known for doing good. But I took a little deeper look into it because, you know, it's just my nature. There's got to be a deeper meaning, right? And I started thinking about good works and what are they and what do they mean and what does this. So that's where the love in action, love is a verb. And that's where it came to my mind is I was sitting there thinking about, I love my husband. I want what's best for him. I love my boys. I want what's best for them. But love is a verb. It's action lived out. How do I show my husband that I love him? Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the Love Languages book. It's been a while since I read it. But my husband has remained steadfast. I'm kind of wishy-washy on my love languages, but his has always been acts of service, words of affirmation, but acts of service being the number one thing. So the way I can show him love is simply by doing for him. Sometimes it's not a great grand gesture. It's just simply doing the everyday. I was reminded of a conversation we had the other day where he said, I really appreciate that you always keep the toilet paper stocked. I just do it because nobody wants to be left without toilet paper, right? But to him, it had a deeper meaning, somewhat deeper meaning, and he appreciated it, and he expressed that to me. And of course, we all love to know that we're doing well, and not all men are like that. My husband certainly isn't like that all the time, but occasionally he will speak something, and that was one of the things he brought to my attention. He said, I appreciate you doing that. So it, to me, this verse, and this is what I wrote, it's a classic example of loving someone and putting that in action. You want to see your husband and your family prospering. Love is a verb. Put love in action. And again, I'm using my verse mapping journal that I talked to you guys about. Forgive the mess in the background. I've actually really enjoyed putting this to good use this week. Just writing down a few thoughts regarding this. But the way I can live this out is when he asks me to do something, do it. Like, don't make excuses. I mean, sometimes, we have legitimate reasons because we're busy moms, but do it. Make it a point to do something. Ask him, how can I be a help today? And if I can remember, I'll try to do it every day. I don't know that I can always remember because he goes to work quite early. I'm not always awake. I'm not much of a conversationalist in the morning when he goes to work, but if I can remember, I'll ask, how can I be of a help to you today? Something that is really important to my husband is a clean house. And it's not because he asked me to be his slave. It's not because he asked me to all work and no play. Goodness, no, that's not it at all. But he does love coming home to a clean house. And this is something that is very near and dear to my heart because I've been the working woman before and I know what it's like to come home to a clean house. I know what it's like to come home to a dirty house. So it's very near and dear to my heart. I try my best to make sure when he walks in that door, no matter what time it is, that the house is clean. Now, clean may vary from day to day. I'm definitely not perfect, and he will agree with me on that, very much so. But I definitely try to force some effort into it. Another thing is he asks us that dinner is at least started, if not completely finished when he gets home. It does make it a bit of a challenge now that he has a job where his time off sometimes varies. But not because I'm checking on my husband, but I will keep an eye on the 360 app or the location app. And I know when he's headed home. I have no excuse. If I know he's headed home, dinner's usually started. So these are just little things. They seem like such small things. When I think about how he goes to work every day, he works his tail off to provide for me. I feel like it's the least I can do is to provide him a clean home, a peaceful home for him to come home to. And that is the best way I know to put love in action, is to simply try to take care of those 2 or 3 things. Now there's other things that he asks of me, and yes, I try, I sometimes fail, but those are 2 big things that in 25 years of marriage, those are 2 things that he has mentioned. Now when I worked, obviously our life was very different, but now that I'm home, I have no excuse. I really don't. Obviously, there are days when, we mess up. I get too much going. I agree to do too many things. Last week is a prime example. Having a garage sale, the house was a mess the whole time because I just was going through everything. But he understands. He's not a slave driver. He's not mean about it. He understood. But you better believe the last 2 days, actually, I spent some time Saturday as well trying to get this house back in order because that is something that's important to him. My boys are messing with the lights. Sorry. So you know your husband better than I do, obviously. What is a small way that you can put love into action for him today? I encourage you, look for it. It's there. He will notice and he will appreciate it even if he doesn't say a word. So don't put a lot of stock into the fact that he doesn't say anything. Y'all, men are so different than us. But I just want to challenge you and encourage you. Put your love into action today in some small way, whatever it may be. You know your husband, you know what he appreciates, and you know what to do to make him happy. So look for it, do it. Ask God to help you, to give you strength, to give you wisdom. He promised to give you both of those things if you just ask. So have a great Tuesday, make it a great day, and enjoy loving on your husband and your family today.